God loves everybody, and he wouldn't hurt a fly. He chose everybody. And I understand why they were taught this, because let's say if the world knew what we knew, they would kill all of the tribes of Israel, man. They would kill the so-called Negroes. Everybody out here would kill us, because they found out that we were the only people that were given the covenants. So the Lord set it up to where they were blinded by the lie that the Lord chose everybody. Okay, that's just to keep us alive. That's all that was. But the point of the matter is that we're going to deal with a race of people which is known as Edomites or Esau in the Bible. So please give me that, Baba Kusha. Hebrews 12 and 4 to 15, please. Baba Kusha.
Hebrews chapter 12. And
we're reading the Bible. We're not reading no keeper knee guys. We're reading the King James Bible, which was authorized by a so-called black man, as he's proven that root in Scotland. Okay, and if you don't believe it, then that's on you. And if you do believe it, cool. Go on.
Verse 15. Looking diligently, verse 16, excuse me. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau.
Right, as profane person as Esau. Go on.
Who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
So what does let's get one thing straight real quick, right? What does the word profane mean? The word profane comes from I believe it's the Latin, which is profanus, which means outside of the temple. So Esau is outside of the temple of God. Go on. Y'all gotta get those books prepared, man.
For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing.
Right, you would know it afterward that he would inherit the blessing. Go on.
He was rejected.
He was rejected. So the only race of people that can't receive repentance or forgiveness or mercy from the Lord is this kind. You understand? Now what we're gonna do is because not only we gonna just read it, but we're gonna substantiate what we're saying now. Now we're gonna substantiate what we're saying. Somebody give me the dictionary.
For he found no place of repentance.
Right, for he found no place of repentance.
Though he sought it carefully with tears.
And then he sought it carefully with tears. And that's why these people, they going around destroying the earth and destroying people, because they know that in the afterlife, they ain't got nothing to look forward to. That's just the truth that the large majority of you people don't understand. Is they know that their end is nigh, and what's going to happen is they going right in the snake under the same people that they enslaved. That's also Bible prophecy too. Go on.
They said, Obadiah 1 verse 9.
You got a question?
And thy mighty men, O T-man, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mounts of Esau may be cut off.
And that's going to happen further in 1,000 years into the future.
By slaughter.
By slaughter. Because what's going to happen is they're going to serve slavery for 1,000 years amongst all of the other nations. And then once that 1,000 years has been fulfilled, they're going to be rounded up and they're going to be kindled and pretty much eradicated off the map. Okay, that's the future. All right, so let's get this. Now we're going to further substantiate. Let's read Hebrews 12 again. Let's read that again. And if we're going to substantiate, which we don't have to because the Bible substantiates itself, we're just going to back it up anyway.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16.
Right.
Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau.
Right, as Esau. Go on.
Who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
So what we're going to do is we're going to read the dictionary, right? And then we're going to prove who Esau is. Who is this nation today? Go on.
Yeah. That was my question.
Right.
Who are they now?
Who are they now?
Yeah.
We're going to get there, brother.
This is a Compact Bible Dictionary by Zondervan, page 142. Edom. It says Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments.
Right. You listening, brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, read that again.
Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments.
Right. And who wrote this? Who wrote this? We didn't write this. It was a group of white people that claimed to be Jews, so-called whites, which were Edomites. They wrote this. So they know their future. Okay? That's it, right?
A bit more. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from God.
Right. Right, so this is a nation that was not promised any mercy from the Most High. Alright? And it's the same people that put themselves in that imagery like they're God. But when you read the word of God and you also dive into the dictionary, it tells you that these people cannot receive mercy. Okay? And it makes all sense. When you could put it together, it makes sense because the same people that can't receive mercy are the same people that enslave God's chosen people. And by that, let's just add insult into injury. They also destroyed the planet in the meats. Go on.
Proverbs 16, verse
Yeah, just a quick precept and then we're going to prove it now.
The Lord, or Yahweh, has made all things for himself.
Right.
Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil.
And who's been playing that part? Okay, who's created biological weapons, diseases, GMOs, okay, what is it? Chemtrails, the aerosol in the air, okay, the lies and the deceits and all of that. Now we're going to prove it now. Let's prove who Esau is in the Bible.
Okay, this is a book called Who is Esau Edom by Charles A. Wiseman. And before we got this was £1,600 on Amazon.
Yeah.
I wonder why. But anyway, this is page 5. Right? Esau was the firstborn of Isaac, and thus was the heir to the birthright derived from a direct racial lineage of Adam to Noah to Abraham.
Okay, go on.
Thus, Esau was an Adamite, a Semite, and a Hebrew.
Well, really, he was an Edomite.
That's right.
Go on.
The racial stock of the white race.
That's Esau right there. Now we know who Esau is. Now we know what people didn't receive no mercy from God. And guess what? Who wrote this book?
A white guy called Charles A. Wiseman.
Right. So we didn't write this. It was another white so-called white scholar that wrote this book. So he knows the deal. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is to further back it up. Let's get Genesis chapter 25. Right? Because like I said earlier before, when you understand what the ancients knew back in the day, they understood that, like I said, if you had no melanin and you had leprosy, then basically you was a man of sin. Okay? So these are the people of sin. Because when you look around, you're going, what's your question now?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Would you guys call yourself?
We're the Hebrew Israelites. We're the original Jews.
What is your purpose?
Huh?
What is your purpose? What are you trying to achieve?
Our purpose is really to tell the world the truth, and also at the end of it, is to let the world know that this society is going to be destroyed by way of nuclear war.
So like,
I've got the purpose.
Go on.
This is our purpose. Isaiah 61 verse 1. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me.
Right.
Because the Lord have anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek.
Right.
He have sent me to bind up the brokenhearted.
Right.
To proclaim liberty to the captives and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of Yahweh and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called the trees of righteousness, the planting of Yahweh, that he might be glorified.
That's it. That's our purpose. In a nutshell. I don't have to explain that. Okay? So that's just the whole thing. So at the end of the day, we're here to let our people know that they're the children of Israel, and that the Most High is going to redeem them from their lower state and where they've been scattered abroad, and then to bring unto them the kingdom of heaven. That's our main purpose, and to warn the world of impending doom and danger which is about to come. Okay, because we're not out here to just talk nonsense. We're out here to back what we're saying. This is very serious, man.
so what happens to the people who are not chosen? What makes these people chosen?
We got you. Give me Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy God. The Lord thy God have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face.
Not equal, but above all people. Let's continue on.
Of the earth.
Okay. Right. But there's some more on that.
The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people. For ye were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord loved you
Right, because the Lord loved His creation. Because I mean, if you've created everything that's in its existence, including the people, like for example, if you're an artist, right, and you painted like, let's say, 20 pieces of art. Now, because it's your creation, you get to pick and choose what art you like out of the 20.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, bro.
So, and I wanna further back what you're saying, because what you gotta understand, brother, is the fact that you can't say that, because see, what you're going by is what the Roman Catholics brought out. I'm not saying you're a Roman Catholic, because you might be a Muslim or Christian. But what I'm saying, brother, is that what you've been taught is based on Roman Catholic doctrine. Basically, you know. But when you read the Bible tells you that the Lord chose one people.
So what happened to the people who not chosen, who not part of this?
All right, you're gonna answer that too. You're gonna answer that because I wanna ask you about scripture, because the scripture really brings home the point more effectively.
2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 54.
I tell you what, brother, we're gonna answer that question, but what I want to do with this is to further back up the previous question in terms of the Lord's creation. So let's get Ezra's 5. What about Bashar? You know the one where it says he out of all things he chose. Right. You know what I'm talking about.
2nd Ezra 5 verse 23. And said, O Lord, that bearest rule of every wood of the earth.
Right.
And
of Uranus, right?
And of all the trees thereof.
Yep.
That have chosen thee one only vine.
Right. So the Lord created all of these different kinds of trees. He chose one favorite tree. Go on. The olive tree. Go on.
And of all lands of the whole world, that have chosen thee one pit.
Right. And that's the land of Israel. Because if you read the scriptures as well, it says that the land of Israel is the most watched in the eyes of the Lord.
Right.
Go on.
And it says, and of all the flowers thereof, one lily.
One lily. Go on.
And of all the depths of the sea, that has filled thee one river. Jordan.
Yeah, right. River Jordan. Right. Go on.
And of all builded cities, that has hollowed Zion unto thyself.
Yep. And that's really, and I mean, that's really pretty much twofold, because it's referring to the people. So it goes back to the point of the matter. If you've created, if you've made any form of art, right? Like I said, you get to pick and choose out. That I'm just metaphorically speaking. That art can't tell you, pick me. Even the shoes. When you go to the store, you get to pick out the shoes you like.
Favorite shoes.
Right, your favorite shoes. It's like these shoes. I'm gonna keep it real. I wear these shoes all the time. Why? Because they're very comfortable. Okay, that's why I like these shoes, and they my style anyway. So the Lord, being that we're His creation, we're not above to question His creation. You know, go on.
And it says, and of all the fowls that are created,
one dove.
thou hast named thee one dove.
Yep.
And of all the cattle that are made, thou hast provided thee one sheep.
Yep, go on.
And among all the multitudes of the peoples, thou hast gotten thee one people. And unto this people, whom thou lovest, thou gavest a law that is approved of all.
That's it. So when we go back to Deuteronomy 7 and 6, it says how the Lord chose one nation of people to be above all people. Okay, why? Because they were, the Most High set it up that way. All right. So let's just say, for example, I'm not of this nation. Really, I can't question the Most High, because the Most High can do what He wants. Okay, that's just how it is, man. Go on.
Psalms 47 verse 2. For the Lord Most High is terrible. He is a great king over all the earth.
Right, He is a great king above all the earth. Go on.
He shall subdue the people under us, and the nations under our feet.
Right, and the nations under our feet, because really, I want to deal with your question as well. So what's going to happen to all the other people? Now we're going to dive into the next question. Is what you got to understand is that basically all of these other people, they had a chance to be in power, so the Lord was fair. Okay, you had you had the Assyrians, and the first civilization started with what you call the Kushites. Okay, which are the so-called Somali, Ethiopian descent, East African descent, I'll just say that. So they had their first civilization and all of that, and all of these other nations had all of their civilization. Okay, but all of these other nations now, the prophecy states that all of them are going to be subdued under the feet of the nation of Israel. Why? Because they were set up to be servants unto Israel. When you go back to the beginning of time, okay, let's go back to Genesis.
Sir. Hello, mate. Hello.
Sorry, boss. It says, he shall subdue the naked people under us and the nations under our feet.
Yeah.
He shall choose our inheritance for us.
Right, he shall choose our inheritance for us.
The excellency of Jacob, whom he loved.
Right. So in the beginning of time, it was already set up that the Lord loved and chose Jacob. Okay, even when you're dealing with the covenant, that's what the covenant was all about. The Abrahamic covenant. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So that covenant was what is it? That bondship between the Most High and the people that was going to come out of Jacob. You understand? But what I would like to do is go to Genesis chapter 27, where it speaks about the blessing of Jacob. I'm going to show you something. Because the word Genesis in the Bible means the beginning or the heading. So we're going to show you something.
Genesis chapter 27, verse 26.
Yep.
And his father Isaac said unto him, come near now and kiss me, my son.
Yeah.
And he came near and kissed him. No hormones. And he smelled the smell of his raiment and blessed him and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed.
Right.
Therefore God, for the Most High,
actually, you know, brother, get to the point. Get to the point.
The Most High give thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth,
right,
and plenty of corn and wine.
Okay.
Let people serve thee.
Right. Key word. Let people serve thee. Go on.
And nations bow down to thee.
And nations bow down to thee. So this was spoken of 4,000 plus years ago. You understand? So in the beginning of time, it was already set up that was going to be the case. So when we read in the midst of the Bible, with pure understanding, we find out that the Bible is actually, it doesn't contradict itself. Because let's just say, and I want to prove that. Now it may seem like it contradicts itself because when you read the New Testament, it speaks about the Gentiles that can be saved. So it seems like it is contradiction. But when you understand the term Gentile in the New Testament and who the Lord came to bring back to the resurrection doctrine, the gospel, you find out that they were Israelites. Okay, go on.
Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee.
Right, and let nations bow down unto thee.
Be Lord over thy brethren.
Be the Lord over thy brethren. Because all of these nations we're all relatives, we're all family. But the Lord is going to set the sons of Jacob, which represents the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, okay, on this side here to be above all nations. Okay?
What happened to those people?
Oh, you mean the other people?
The other people. What
right,
happened?
they're going to be subdued, like you just read. Yeah, they're going to be subdued and put under bondage and slavery.
Right.
You know, because, and the reason why, because they put us in slavery. But like I told you before, you got to understand, brother, like I told you before, that was always the plan of God. Huh?
So it's all about revenge?
Not necessarily, it's not all about revenge, but it's all about, no, not necessarily, brother, because it's all about the will of the Father at the end of the day. Because what did he say in the beginning? He said, I will have thy brethren serve thee. Okay, so that was all, it was purpose. Because the Most High is a man that he should not lie. He's a God that he should not lie. Give me that in Numbers 24. Go on.
This is Romans 9 and 9. For this is the word of promise. At this time I will come, and Sarah shall have a son.
Right.
And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born,
the children not being yet born, go on,
neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that called it.
So it's all about a Father's will, because like I told you before, the Most High is going to fulfill every work. So if the Lord said, look, I'm going to set the people of Jacob above all nations, that's what he's going to do. Now, is it a revenge? Partially, yeah, it is, but it's all about the will of the Father. Okay, that's what it really all boils down to. That's the source of the issue.
African, yeah.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be fair with y'all, right? Now, where you from? I'm saying, what part of Africa?
I'm from East Africa.
You're from East Africa. You're from Central Africa. Okay, well, I'm going to say this right now. Now, what you got to understand, right? You have Israelites up and scattered abroad. Okay? And they look like the other nations. So, being that they look like the other nations, does that mean that they can't be saved? No, they are going to be saved. Why? Because their father somehow, some way goes back to one of the tribes. Because it was already prophesied that our people is going to be scattered abroad amongst all of the other nations. Go on.
Isaiah 11 verse 11.
Yeah.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam
and from Cush, Ethiopia, go on,
and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah.
That's it.
For the four corners.
So I'm going to use you for an example. Now, you could, let's say you're an Israelite, even though you look, East African, but let's just say you're an Israelite, and you believe in the word, you believe in what we're teaching, you understand it. It's the most likely you are part of the elect. You are part of the chosen seed. All right? Huh?
Believe in it. It's not saying. No, it's not about that.
Right. So if you believe in the word, it's already your seed already go back to these people. Because DNA biologically
you believe.
Right, if you believe, then you're an Israelite anyway, because only the Israelites can believe in this word. You understand? Because your brain is biologically set up to believe in this word. You understand? So if you believe, it don't matter what you look like.
It don't matter where you come from.
It don't matter where you come from, and it don't matter what you look like. Because what matters the most is who your father is. That's what it is. That's the so-called white man's bullshit. All right? And it's all about faith too. Esau say, well, you're defined by this country you're born in, or because of your outward appearance. No, the Lord is spiritual. Okay? And you might be an Israelite anyway. Okay? You might be an Israelite. Y'all might be Israelites anyway. And don't even know it. Go on.
I've got two precepts.
That's why you're standing there. Go on.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 12.
Yep.
Ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by my sword.
Right, and that's what's going to go down. Now, if you're an actual Cushite, that's going to be the judgment, and I can't do nothing about that. That's the word of the Lord. Okay, you're going to get the sword.
How do you
read that? 2 verse 12. Ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by my sword.
Right, because the Israelites, like you got to remember, they're going to subdue the nations because of Genesis, 27. So that's going to be fulfilled. So that work will be fulfilled as he said in the beginning. But like I said, if you don't come out of that elk and your line goes back to the Israelites, and it's proven that you believe in this thing, then you could be one of us.
What if your line does not go back?
Then you're gonna go in the slave. Oh, you know what?
You believe whatever you say. Let's imagine I believe whatever you're saying, right? But then my line does not go back to those.
It's not possible because your mind and your DNA is not biologically going to be set up to believe. This is only for Israel.
Right, faith is a gift.
It's a gift, yeah?
It's not a gift. You don't give gifts to everybody.
Yeah.
A gift is only given to the ones who is predestined.
Yeah.
Meaning faith is by grace.
Yeah.
I mean, if the Most High has graced you to have faith, that's because you're an Israelite. That's
Right.
because somehow your lineage goes back to Jacob.
Yeah. Somehow,
Even though you look like an Ethiopian, somehow your father's line is one of us.
Yeah.
You understand?
Israel, yeah?
Because you got to understand, in the world called Jesus Christ, he came and died for you. Read that.
Romans 8 and 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God.
Right. So if we try your spirits and you come around this thing that we're teaching you, hey, you might be an Israelite. Okay, go on.
And if the children, then heirs of God and joint heirs with Christ, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together.
Right. Give me Romans the 9th chapter where it says, bring it out, bro.
This is St. John 10:27. My sheep hear my voice.
Right, my sheep hear my voice.
And I know them and they follow me.
Right. And they've known me and they follow me.
That's a question.
Yeah, go on.
Does it really matter if you're not part of it?
Yeah, if you're right, if you're not from America or the Western Islands,
anyway.
Right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, well,
it's all about connection.
It's all about the biological connection. Okay, the seed line. Go on.
This is Romans chapter 8, verse 14. For as many as are led by the Spirit
as
of the Most High,
led by the Spirit of the Most High,
they are the sons of the Most High.
They are the sons of the Most High. Because you gotta remember, key point, the Most High is not a man who should lie. So if the Lord said he was gonna save Israel, then that's what it's gonna be. The Lord ain't gonna save another nation. So obviously the Lord made the other nations not being able to understand this. Okay, go on.
This is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8.
Yeah.
For by grace are ye saved through faith.
Right.
And that not of yourselves, it is the gift of the Most High.
It is the gift of the Most High. So you first and foremost, you gotta be gifted with the Spirit to have faith, to believe. Okay, because hey, there's a lot of guys that know the Bible and everything, but they don't actually believe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the Most High gotta give you that faith so that you can roll right in it. Go on.
Ephesians 1 verse 4. According as he have chosen us in him before the foundation of the world.
Right, before the foundation. That's it, the elect. Go on.
That we should be holy and without blame before him in love.
That's it.
Having predestinated us.
Go on.
Unto the adoption of children by Yahweh Shai HaMashiach to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will.
That's it. So this is all about Israel. And it doesn't matter.
We get it. We are clear now.
You understand, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So you said you're from Central Africa. So what's which part? Oh, Congo. Yeah, this is Israelites that are down here. Yeah. That's Israel. And he looked like an Israelite too. Yeah, he's an Israelite, man. You know, because when you... What's that, brother?
Amen. I receive.
Yeah, man. Hey, and this brother, he might be a J too. You know what I mean? But like I said, if y'all believe in the truth, hey, the Lord sent you to further be a part of the elect. Okay, but going back to the point of the matter, if you're not of the nation of Israel, let's get that. You know the one I want, Isaiah 45.
Right.
Because go on.
Yeah. Saying because we migrated to Africa. Yeah. In 70 AD, the Romans, we had wars with the Romans. 70 AD, they besieged Israel. So most, not all, we fled into Egypt. And Egypt is where? Africa. Rome.
Yeah. So you got a lot of Israelites in Africa, amongst the Hamites. You know? So you can read that.
It's Isaiah 45 verse 14. Thus saith the Lord, the labor of Egypt and the merchandise of Ethiopia.
That's talking about the actual dark nations that are not Israelites. And that's the people of Ham. That's the people of Ham. You have the Watusis, you know, those indigenous African people, okay, and the Cushites, indigenous Cushites, they're gonna be the slaves of the nation of Israel. Okay? And I'm just saying, this if you're not of the nation of Israel. If you're of these people, or of these people, then you're all going to be servants of the nation of Israel. Okay, go on.
So that if they change, if they believe.
What you saying?
That means that they believe.
No, I'm saying, hear what I'm saying. What I'm saying, brother, is basically these guys right here, if they're just regular heathens, if they're not a part of the Israelites, which they're not, because they're different people, they're all going to go into slavery.
Do you think that's what, like, this people have some sort of connection with
Nah, because
you said earlier that these people have enslaved you and everything, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about connection.
You know what you got to understand? There's three sons of Noah. You have Ham, Shem, and Japheth. So the Israelites, we came out of Shem. The Israelites came out of Shem, and we're all dark-skinned people, but we're not the same. Okay, because there's different tribes of dark people. Now the Hamites, these people here, they were just set up to be slaves. And what further proves that they're not the same, because they always believed in paganistic gods. Okay, like when you understand the Egyptian Empire, they had a lot of gods, man, but it wasn't the Most High. It was either a sun god or a sexual god they believed in, or a god that made, or some sort of other god, a pagan god that protected them, you know, dangers and all of that stuff. So they were always what is it? Outside of the belief of the Most High. All of these nations were. You're going.
Like the Ethiopians, when you saw the Tower of Babel, your main man was Nimrod. You heard about Nimrod? Fierce man. He was a killer. He was a killer. So much so that even to this day they worship this man. They call him what do they call him? They call him what's it? What's his name?
Semiramis and Tammuz.
Yeah, Tammuz.
Semiramis.
Yeah, Tammuz. What's this other guy, man? Saturn. You know about Saturn? Like when the people, when they think that Saturday is supposed to be the Sabbath day. Yeah, really they're worshiping Nimrod or Satan or Saturn. Okay? Because Nimrod throughout the centuries or millenniums, his name kept on changing. The man may be called Saturn by the Romans, or what's it, Zeus, or what's that Titan? Titan 4? No, Zeus is parent. Forget his name. He became known as what? He was Zeus by the Greeks. By the centuries, his name kept changing throughout the centuries. Huh? No. There was another one. But anyway, flipping, and also, you know about Semiramis Tammuz? Have you heard about this? Yeah, the Jupiter, Semiramis Tammuz. That's where the whole Trinity worship came from. You know what I'm saying? That all came from the so-called Ethiopians, the Cushites. When you read about the children of Ham, one of the children of Ham was Cush. So really the real Ethiopians, the real Somalians, the real Eritreans, they're Hamites. They're linked together with the people of Sudan. Those are like the real Egyptians. Yeah, the people of Sudan. They're the real Egyptians. And then you have like the Namibians. Those are the real Hamite, the real indigenous people of Africa. The real Africans. Because we are people in West Africa. We're not Africans. We migrated there. That's not our indigenous homeland. But anyway, like the Ethiopians, the Greeks called you that. The Greeks called you that. Right? Yeah, really, you were Kawash, or Kush, the Kushites. And like I said, your main man was a man called Nimrod. And he was a fierce man. He was even written in the Bible. He set up the Tower of Babel. And there was legends. That's how the first idolatry came from him. That's the first idol worship. You know, it came from Semiramis. He had sex with his mom. Yeah, and then that's what came about Tammuz. And when Nimrod died, she started spreading rumors saying that her son Tammuz was the reincarnation of Nimrod. You know what I'm saying? That the sun shined on her and she became miraculously pregnant. And that's where that whole miraculous pregnancy, the whole Virgin Mary concept came from. And it got passed down through the millenniums to this what you call Roman Catholicism today. You see mother-child worship, you see the mother and the child. That all came from the Ethiopians millenniums ago. That's where that all came from, the Hamites. That's all Christianity mixed in with Babylonian worship, which came around during like 325 AD by a man called Constantine the Great. Heard of that? A guy called Constantine the Great. He's the one that he took basically the gospel, basically the gospel that we were teaching 2,000 years ago, and he flipped it. He put in Easter, the fertility and all that shit. He put all of that, he mixed it in with Babylonian worship, paganistic worship. And that's where you get this Roman Catholic
God loves everybody.
Bullshit come from. It all comes from that. Alright? But like I said, going back to the Hamite people.
And you know too, brother, if I may say one thing, because the way we teach, the way we're preaching the Bible, right? The way we're doing it in a style that the ancient apostles did, the ancient prophets did. You know? But what's your nationality? Are you like Ethiopian? Okay, well, you know, like I said, there's a